Welcome to Conscious Conversations. I'm Christine Marie.
And I'm Charley Zheng.
And this is our Soulful Dialogue series, where two soul sisters come together each month to share what's alive in our hearts and explore the beautiful messiness of being human.
Through intimate, unscripted conversations, we dive into questions both big and small around self-discovery, spiritual growth, and awakening the medicine that lives within each of us to create a more conscious and compassionate world.
We're here to bridge ancient wisdom with raw vulnerability, the sacred with the everyday. So settle in, open your heart, and welcome to the journey.
All right. Hi, Christine Marie.
Hi, Charlie.
Hello.
How's it going, love?
I'm just so excited to jump right into it with you, if you don't mind.
Let's do it. Let's go in the deep end, girl.
So today, I really want to talk about something exciting that I know is brewing on the horizon for you, which is Love is the Medicine, your first backyard mini festival that you're hosting at Dvâra Sanctuary. And for those who don't know, Dvâra Sanctuary serves as both a medicine retreat space and your home. And with the event coming up soon in just a couple weeks on September 6th, I'd really love to focus our conversation on the deeper story behind this event. And so maybe where we can start is just have you tell us more about the origins of this idea. What planted the seed and where did the name Love is the Medicine come from?
So 5.5 years ago, I went down to Costa Rica to sit with my friend Perry among a sea of strangers with ayahuasca for the first time. And my first experience with that medicine was drinking it, feeling absolutely nauseous, like almost immediately, and hearing the words, "You are your own worst abuser," come through my mind as I'm purging that energy inside of the bucket.
Wow.
And then I get all these flashes of ways in which I've been just really hard on myself, mean to myself, hiding myself, all of these ways in which like I was doing the abusing to myself, where, for those of you that do know me, my history of abuse that I was like struggling with for a while, but never did I really see that when you have a history of abuse and you kind of record that in your psyche, you then start to operate that same way towards yourself because it's what you learned. It's, those voices, those sayings, the way that you treat yourself is essentially how other people treat you as a child and so forth. And so it was just this immediate reckoning with myself of like, oh, I've been blaming all these people for hurting me, but I have yet to actually take responsibility for how I've carried it forward. And so it awakened that within me, that concept and that level of awareness. And then as I was processing and reflecting on that piece, there was the spirit of ayahuasca that came through, and she came through my heart, out of my third eye. People that take psychedelics can understand, like, these are very abstract things, but out of my third eye became this beautiful botanical expression of her. And as she was showing herself to me, she was humming this frequency. And as she was humming this frequency to me, the words "love is the medicine" was communicated. And in that moment, I was just using my internal intuitive intelligence to take what she gave me and use it on myself. So I placed a hand on my heart. I hummed that same frequency to my heart and just gave myself that love that I feel like I had been desperately looking for and needing, but really not giving to myself fully. And then these flashes of all of the people that harmed me and all the people that I harmed, and a lot of relationship ruptures and family ruptures, and kind of the origin stories of all of that came through. And I realized that we don't get anywhere with shaming or blaming another person, but we get somewhere when we can just open our hearts to love not only those parts of ourselves that maybe we exiled or pushed away, but also we can send that love to those that also hurt us. I just felt this immediate level of freedom and dissolving of anguish, and just whole in my body and in my heart in a way that I hadn't felt probably my whole life. And that kickstarted this idea of that love is the ultimate medicine that really actually brings us back into wholeness. And when we can meet those parts within ourselves with love, without cynicism or shame, then actually that's where the real medicine can come forward. And it's wild because I've actually, now that I'm putting on this festival, that practice of loving those parts of myself have come up so much all summer long. And it's just kind of this thing of that remembrance. And I feel like I was just in a kind of a moment of really deep grief and unease the last 6 weeks. And then as I started doing that practice, I feel like I've completely transformed, and all of those ways in which I was meeting myself before have completely changed, and now there's more softness and breathability in my system. The reason why love is the medicine, it feels really strong in this current climate, is that there's so much change happening within our personal and collective lives. And as we're changing, there's a lot of older versions that can come up to greet us and meet us, and we are face to face with. The idea behind this festival is that everything that we offer through music and fire ceremony and healing artists comes from a frequency of love, and that all parts of you, whoever you are welcome here, no matter if it's a part that's hurt somebody in the past or a part that's been hurt. All parts of your perfect imperfections are welcome, and we're here to just give love to those parts fully.
Thank you. That's really beautiful. And what I'm feeling in my own heart as I'm listening to you and what you've just shared is that there's something about forgiveness and compassion too that you've also had to learn throughout the journey. And also, just when I think about forgiveness and compassion, just two really important things for anybody to practice in order to open up to something as big as love. And yeah, just the sense of connection and belonging that this particular event is hoping to shape and to create. And so I'm curious, what are the specific elements that you're pulling together that will create this environment or this atmosphere of and connection and love?
Yeah, well, this is my partner Josh and I's. We're both like creating and stewarding this together. So there's kind of like this element of partnership and collaboration between the two of us that feels like it's like being strengthened, as well as bringing our friends and our loved ones to co-create this experience together. I just feel like even the energy of everybody that's coming together to support and put on this event is creating that field of love already without needing to do anything but just bring their hearts and their medicine forward. The other thing is that we have a series of artists, musicians that will be playing for the, you could say, 6-hour event. And each artist that we have chosen to bring into the container was not by mistake, but because we have sensed an ounce of love and connection to the earth and this integral mission behind what they are trying to do with their music, and then wanting to bring all of that together. And one of the things that I talked about with Love is the Medicine is that that idea came from the medicine of the earth, from a plant intelligence that really has helped me and so many people that I know heal and remember their own right to love and love themselves. And every artist that we've brought in, to me, has this feeling of really deep reverence for the earth and bringing in the element of earth, the earth mother being a safe, loving container holder for grief and rage and disconnection, right? And the fact that we're doing it in our backyard, where we have now housed a lot of different ceremonial events, there's already a charge there that, yeah, this land is really meant for recycling and composting anything that we want to leave behind that is not love. So I just feel like with the frequencies and the music and the artistry of what we're bringing forward with the land and the connection to earth, like it just feels a very cohesive field that we're creating.
Yeah. And it sounds like a really intimate event too, you know, because it's in a backyard, because the people who are going to be performing there and taking part in this event are all going to be from the local community who are sharing the same set of values and all have that same level of consciousness, alignment. I think there's something unique about the way that you describe this and the fact that it is taking place in a backyard, in your home, also in your medicine retreat space, that just makes it feel much more inviting. And there's something that feels so authentic and genuine and human about it. Because oftentimes when I think about sacred gatherings, there's always an element of performance that I sometimes feel especially when they're big and there's a lot of people gathering, and then it can be a lot of energy. But from what I've experienced with your last gathering, when the Huni Kuin came to perform, it was just such a different kind of atmosphere and environment, and it really felt friendly and inviting and warm, the way that you've curated it and the way that you've really intentionally selected the right artists and people to be a part of it. Yeah, it very much feels heart focused in a way that
Yes, like we're here to hear beautiful music and receive beautiful readings from our intuitive reader or our astrologer and our fire ceremony. Yes, we want people to have a great, beautiful, joyous time. And we're also really just here to receive the offerings that channel through everyone's heart and soul into the space as like a collective soothing balm. It's not about being the best performer up there. It's about opening up our hearts enough to really feel the frequency of love and the heart medicine from everybody pouring into the space. That's going to create something tangible for people to walk away with, other than just going to a concert and leaving. There will be tea service and an intentional fire ceremony and different vendors and stuff. It's definitely something that is intimate, unique, and heart-led first. And also giving people the chance that are in this frequency of love, the chance to really share their medicine and to have our community be on the other side of receiving it. It's just such a generative way, I feel like, of really ending the summer.
Yeah. So what's the artist lineup, and how would you describe each musical act's vibe and energy?
I'll speak with Josh, and I are performing first. We'll do a couple songs and some spoken word and aligned with, some instrumentation by him. And I would say, like, for us, we're really about kind of bringing forward the connection to earth and pretty much everything we talked about, to earth and to love and yeah, I think like just heartfelt connection. I would say that our music is more melodic and kind of gets you in your feels. And then Ben Larson, I have not seen him live, but Josh has. And what I heard from Josh was like there's like this really deep wholesomeness that he brought forward, and this like kind of raw beauty. And he's more like a folk indie type vibe. But again, I'm like not, so like if you're listening to this, Ben, I'm sorry. I don't know how to describe your music other than I listen to it while I'm like driving at night with the windows down, sort of thing. Kind of just puts me in a very introspective mood, I would say. And then we have Sarah Tone, who we've seen live a couple times. She actually taught Josh drums for a couple of months before, and she's like this soulful badass that has a deep, again, connection with the earth, and she talks about the trees and her garden and like all of these different ways in which that I feel like the divine intelligence from the earth like speaks through her music. She raps and she drums and she plays guitar. She's really, really big in the local community, so we're really thrilled that she said yes. And then we'll have me and my friend Alex. Essentially, it's a spoken word performance where I'll be reciting poems and he'll be doing the background instrumentation for that, and then I'll be performing my song, I think. I think I'll be performing the one song that I played and learned on guitar for the first time, like in this way. Everything kind of comes back to being connected to the Mother Earth as a vessel in which that we can start to feel safe in our bodies enough to express ourselves. I'm a part of that choir. But they're a 5-band piece, and they bring in a mix of soul and world music and a lot of call and response, so you get to not only listen to them, but you get to sing along with them and back to them, and it's kind of like they make the audience the choir, which is really cool. So you're not just listening, but you're participating in that exchange, and it just kind of brings the energy up and out and like alive. It's really, really beautiful. I have been a part of their performances before and just feel like I always am moved by tears when I'm listening to them. And then Dune Moss, who's our headliner, I saw her last year, and she's kind of like this fairy angel, folk, dark, mysterious energy that really helps, I feel like, heal a lot of the inner child parts through her music. And she's just an incredible artist. Also very blessed to have her. So that's kind of like the mix of things. And then in between we'll have recorded music to dance and to move and to shake, because it kind of goes from like slow to fast and then kind of slow again as the journey arc. So we want to make sure people feel like they can move their bodies more and stuff in between the sets. And then you'll be there doing readings. And we'll have Perry doing astrology readings, and a couple of other really beautiful offerings.
Yeah, that's awesome. It just sounds like such a really thoughtfully curated group, and that there is such a range there. And everybody sounds so different and so unique. So it's really exciting.
I don't know if you've ever been to like something where like everyone kind of sounds the same, sort of, you know? And our hope was like to get to like have a cohesive mission behind the artist, but also for there to be variability. And so I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Which part of the process is bringing you the most excitement? Or anything that comes up for you that you're most excited about?
I'm just really excited to feel all of us together. That's what was so special about the Hunikuin event, was that because we had never done that before with them, it was a big surprise as to how beautiful and magical that evening was. And so I don't have any expectations other than just a deep curiosity around when all these beautiful humans get together to create this wonderful evening, like what's going to happen. I think I'm just really excited to like co-create with all these powerful beings that are doing really impactful work in the world, you know? And then, yeah, just to, I think I'll say like on a personal level, because I've done spoken word performances in the past, but not to this level with instrumentation, and not to this level as well as with my, yeah, with singing and playing on a stage music. You know, I've done this in my ceremonies and kind of behind the scenes, but I've never really done this on a stage before. And so there's a mix of nerves and a mix of trust that like it will go well, and just keep, I'll say for me, like there's just this practice of like, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up with an open heart and like let that do all of the talking, you know, let that be what is felt, and like that's enough, you know. So it's just a big practice for me right now, and I'm every day just learning more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that this is a little bit of a container for you as well, and that you've made this into your playground, if you will. You know, not only is this a space for your friends and beloved members of the community to come and express themselves, this is also very much something you've created for yourself to serve as medicine for yourself too. So
Yeah. And then me and Alex started talking, and I was like, wait, I think maybe we can do something, you know? So yeah, initially I wasn't going to like put myself out there like that. And then over time, as I've been moving through these pieces, it's like, well, you built a stage in your backyard in a time where you are really practicing being bold and brave and vulnerable, of expressing your musicianship and your artistry. Serve your inner child that, you know, has longed for this dream, and make it a reality in front of people that are there to just love and support you no matter what happens, you know? So I think, yeah, there's this shyness I feel about that. And then there's this also giving myself permission for that to be medicine for myself, but also for anybody else that is kind of in that stage of development in their artistry, you know. I mean, I can only hope that, you know, there's more people out there that, you know, may come to our event and say, oh, maybe I'll build a stage for myself in my backyard, you know, and like, why not? So
yeah, totally. Or maybe inquire for an opportunity to perform in your space. And I think that we artists often forget that our creations are meant to be witnessed and seen, and that so often they are also our very own medicine. So I love the way that you're embodying that and creating that environment of permission giving. Cool. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you'll be a part of
Yeah,
it.
I'm excited to see how it's going to unfold, and I'm sure it'll be really beautiful, just in the same way that the Hunikuin experience, I think, surprised all of us just with how beautiful it was and how smooth and in flow it all was, and the fact that, you know, it really inspired people. And there's something about your space in particular that can hold that energy really well. So my final question for you is, knowing that producing and pulling together an event like this, and also being one of the performers in the event, I know that probably it has come with a lot of logistical and personal challenges. And, you know, even at the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned having to move through some nerves and some discomfort around being seen in this particular way. And so when you feel into the future and the version of you that is on the other side of this, what's the message that comes?
Can you ask the question again?
So when you feel ahead into the future, just a few weeks ahead, and the version of you that's on the other side of this, what's the message that comes?
It did the thing that you were terrified to do, and not only did you survive through it, but you thrived, and it was good enough.
Mm. Yeah.
And my friend Alex, who I work with in many different ways, we were talking today, and he shared something around like being like a spokesperson for letting people know that like their voice is good enough or their musicality is good enough no matter what stage they're in of their development, whether it's the beginning, the middle, or you're, you know, full blown professional. Like there's always some goodness within that process, no matter where you are. And I just feel like that was not only the message he needed to hear, but I needed to hear. And I think that will kind of seed more into an integrated state when I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But even receiving that message from your future self just now that you will not have only survived it, but will have thrived from it, and that everything that you have put into it is good enough. You know, what is it like to even just say that out loud?
Yeah, well, the first memory that comes to my mind as that statement was being reflected back was like, it'd be a year ago, literally that weekend, where I was at Imagine Festival,
Mm.
and I'm watching Yaima perform, they're just so incredible. And I made this statement out loud to Josh and my friend Yelena, like, that is what I want to do. Like, I've been wanting to be a musician my whole life.
Yeah.
And I kind of put my stake in the ground then, you know, and so fast forward a year later, it's like, oh, here's one giant leap towards that dream.
Totally.
And how miraculous is that?
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think it's such a important takeaway, and like a really inspiring takeaway to have, is that we just don't know what's possible, but as long as we listen, and as long as we, as in your words, like put a stake in the ground, there's so much that is actually available to us. And so I love the fact that love is the medicine is that creation that is fulfilling this dream of yours. So thank you. Thank you for doing such a service to yourself, and in turn, you know, doing a service for others as well.
Thank you. That's the hope, isn't it?
Mhm.
Thanks
Well,
for all of your support and love.
yeah. Any final things that would feel important or essential to share?
Yeah, I think I just want to name that I know right now, like on a global festival level, like big festivals are even struggling to kind of keep their doors open with people buying tickets and all that stuff. And for this event, we really try to make it accessible. And so for those that are really looking to want to join us and to come, there is a lot of early bird tickets still left. Those will probably sell out within the next week. So we do ask that if you want to come, please grab your ticket as soon as possible. As well as, yeah, you know, this is something that's really grassroots and it's taking a lot of time, energy, and money that we're not necessarily expecting a profit from, but hopefully enough to pay everybody really well. So if this is an alignment for you, we really ask for you to purchase your ticket now and get the ball rolling, and so we can, yeah, just spread this medicine to everybody that's needing it.
Amazing. I'm so excited to join you there in just a couple weeks. And hope to see everyone there.
Yes, see you there.
Bye.
Bye.